Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am in the process of making 2 sweet potato pies for Thanksgiving, and I wanted to share that recipe with you and make them right here tonight. Today's Tuesday, and it's late in the evening. As you can see, it's all dark outside, but I decided to make these 2 pies tonight, and I'm going to store them until Thanksgiving so we can have some sweet potato pies for Thanksgiving Day. I wanted you to see my recipe, so I'm going to first start with showing you how I do my recipe for Thanksgiving sweet potato pies. And then I also want to show you some work my husband and I have done on the outside of the house, in the front of the house. We have a little porch, and we've been painting and restoring some light fixtures outside, getting it ready to put our Christmas decorations up. But we haven't started doing that yet, but we want to just refresh of the front entryway and on the side by the driveway, of refreshing it with paints. So I got those 2 things I want to show you together. But first I'm going to start by, let's make this sweet potato pie first. Get that out the way. Okay guys, here's my ingredients, and I'm gonna start by showing you what I use here. First of all, I use 1 stick and a half of margarine. Now you can use a stick and a half of butter, and I probably would have, but I forgot to buy the butter, so I'm using margarine. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to melt it, the margarine, in this little cup in the microwave, and I'm going to take it, change it from a solid to a liquid, and I'm going to pour it on top of the sweet potatoes. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon and 1/4 of vanilla. The recipe calls for 1 tablespoon and 1/4 of vanilla. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of lemon extract. Now you don't want to overpower your flavor with lemon, so make sure you don't use too much extract of lemon. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And I'm going to use 1 cup and 1/4 of sugar. Now once I put the sugar in and mix it, I'm going to taste it. Now if it's not sweet enough or consistently smooth with the sugar, I may add a little extra sugar to make it a little more sweeter. And I need 4 eggs. For every pie you make, you need 2 eggs. So I have 4 here because I'm making 2 pies. So I got 2 eggs for each pie. And the main source is the potatoes. I boiled 2 sweet potatoes, and I'm about to cut the skin off the sweet potatoes before I start to mash them and then put the ingredients on top. So this is the recipe. This is the ingredients that I will be using, and then I'm going to show you how I did the sweet potato pie. Oh, the next thing I forgot to mention to you is I bought 2 pie shells. And what I'm going to do with these pie shells are, I'm going to poke holes in the sides and in the bottom of each shell. And I'm going to put them in the oven and let them bake for about 10 minutes, just to make sure that they're cooked, they're baked, and they're not raw when I put the sweet potato on top. And then I'm going to take them out the oven, and I'm going to add the sweet potato mixture in it and put them back in the oven and let them bake for another few minutes. And I'll tell you how many when I get to that point. Okay. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to poke some holes into the pie crust, and a few holes in the sides. if your pie crusts are frozen, give them 15 minutes to sit out and thaw before putting them in the oven. Mine has been out for even maybe 20 minutes, and they're ready to go in the oven. They feel soft enough to go in the oven. They're no longer frozen. So if you have them in the freezer, take them out, give them 15 minutes to thaw out, and then put them in the oven. And I'm going to put my pie crust on a baking sheet. Well, in this case, it's a pizza sheet, and I'm going to put them in the oven. Okay, let's move over to the sweet potatoes, and let me get this out the way for a minute, and let me take the skin off the sweet potatoes. The skin should come off really easy. Let me push this over so you can see what I'm doing. The skin should really come off really easy. I take the top off first, and then I move the skin, and usually you don't have to peel it at all. Bring it down a little bit. I can use my hands to do it, just to get the peeling off. I just didn't want to dirty my hands so much, so I pushed it off with a knife, but it comes off really easy. And at the bottom, you cut that tip off the bottom and just keep peeling. If there's any dark spots, you can remove all the dark spots off before using it in your pan for a pie. I like it to kind of look pretty good when it goes in. Okay, so this is it. This is one potato. Again, I cut the bottom off, and then as you can see, I can move it with my hand, but I don't want to use my fingers right now to do it. I rather just scrape it with a knife. Just get any dark spots you see, like this. That's a dark spot. I'll pull that up and get that off as well. And cut this bottom off again, because you don't need that bottom at all. And then I peel it around. And as I said, if you see a dark spot, get it off. So it's two. So this is going to probably make 2 pies. So my ingredients call for 2 pies. So this is what I'm using now. So the first thing I want to do, I'm going to use my blender. I'm going to mash this down first, and then I'm going to use my blender to get the strings out of it, because there's strings inside of here, and for it to be smooth, you got to get that stringy stuff off of your sweet potatoes. Now, sometimes it comes off at the peeling of it, but there's still more strings inside, so I'm going to start by using this blender. First, I'm going to mash it down. I want you to see what I'm talking about with strings. This one doesn't have a lot of strings in it, so they may not be as bad as I thought. I might have peeled off the strings, but what I do is I'll do this 2 times. I clean them off of any strings that might be on it. And I'm gonna mash it again. I'm pushing it down in the pan to make sure I get every bit of it mashed up. out again because there are still some strings, but not a lot. These potatoes here don't seem to have a lot of strings in it, so just wet it up a little bit. And I'm going to bring this into the bowl. Now we're going to add the butter. I melted the stick of butter, and I'm going to melt the other half in a minute. But I'm going to add the butter to it. And I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to melt this piece. So I'm going to stick this in the microwave. Well, it's soft enough that I could just put it in. I'm not going to worry about melting it. I'm just going to put it in and blend it in because it's already soft. And I'll blend it in. I'm going to add the sugar, a cup of sugar, and 1/4 of a cup of sugar. And I'm going to mix that in first before I start blending because it has a tendency to pop all around, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to first try to mix it in, soften it up, mixing it in, and then I'll just blend it a little more. It's in there. Now I'll blend it. Now I'm going to add my eggs. I have 4 eggs here, and I'm going to mix them in 2 at a time. But I'm going to crack them, and I may not be in the camera when I'm doing it, so I'm going to try to get in the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I'm cracking the eggs. At a time, and I'm going to take my whisk and I'm going to beat them up a little bit. And I'm going to pour them in two at a time. So I'm going to add the eggs and I'm going to mix them in, blend them in. more eggs. And I'm going to put those in. And I'll whisk them in. Then I'm going to add them into the second two slowly as I blend them. Take out all the black spots. That was like a black spot. And I'm going to take my spatula and I'm going to scrape around the sides to make sure I get everything in. That's it. Make sure everything goes in to the mix. To take a spoon of lemon extract, 1 teaspoon of lemon extract. I'm going to add that to the mix. And I'm going to rinse off my spoon because I don't want excessive lemon on it. And then I'm going to take my vanilla and I add a tablespoon of vanilla. I think I said teaspoon of this, but there was a tablespoon of lemon extract, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of vanilla. And then a fourth of a tablespoon, so a fourth of this would be just a little dab, and that's about a fourth of it. And I'm going to blend all that in. Ingredients is a teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon of nutmeg. So I'll start now by getting a teaspoon of the cinnamon. Take the top off. I don't want to do it excess, so I'm going to shake it off. Make sure it's just a teaspoon of it, and I'll pour it in. Teaspoon of the nutmeg as well. So open it up and get a teaspoon of nutmeg and shake it off. Make sure it's just a teaspoon and add that to it as well. So those are all my ingredients. So now I'm just going to blend these in. There's some butter on the side here. I want to get it all in that belongs in there. So I'm going to take the spatula and I'm going to go around the sides of it and make sure everything is in that needs to be in. Including this side where this is. Make sure everything is sitting in there. And I'm going to just blend it one more time. Take a spoon and taste it. I'm going to give it a taste test just to see if it's sweet enough. And I think that it could use a little more vanilla because I taste a lot of lemon. So whenever it has a lemon taste more than a vanilla, I'm going to take this teaspoon and I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Guys, I'm going to add it to the pie crust now. Okay guys, here's the I added it to the pie crust and I'm about to put it in the oven just for a little bit over 15 minutes. I'm going to put it in there for just 15 minutes and see that it should be ready because the pie crust is already ready. As you can see, it's brown, so I don't have to keep it in there very long. So that's what exactly I'm about to do. I'm gonna put it in the oven and I'll get back with you when it's done. Okay guys, here is my finished product. These are my two pie crust. The crust is just a little dark, but it's not burnt. It's very edible. I kind of like it when it's dark, but they came out really just like I wanted them to. And I'm going to slice a piece so that you can see how they look. Hey guys, I wanted to show you the day before how hard we were working on restoring the front, refreshing the front of my house by painting the door and spraying, painting the light fixtures. My husband did a really good job of refreshing both light fixtures, and I painted the front door and the windows in the front. So we worked really hard yesterday with that. But you can DIY your own house repairs or things that you need to paint or refresh by getting some. We use metal paint from Home Depot to do those lanterns. And I used outdoor white bear paint to do the doors and the windows. So this is what we did yesterday, and I want you to see it because this is what we refreshing before we put up our Christmas decoration. After painting everything is dry, so we're putting everything back together. This is the tops of the light lanterns, and he's just need to screw them in again. He's just finished putting the glass in the lanterns and also putting light bulbs inside. And so he's going to put the top on now and screw it in. And it looks really nice. He's done a really excellent job of refreshing because it's all clean and white and very nice. So I was happy about that. Okay guys, here's the finished DIY project that we did for our front porch area. I know that I showed you a cooking video and a painting video in one, but that's how busy we've been all this week. But I hope that you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed doing it. And may you have a happy Thanksgiving, and may God bless you and may God keep you.